What's up, everyone? I got to do my videos super duper bare bones. I do not know what's going on. I tried to upload with KineMaster. Shout out to KineMaster. It's a great app, but for some reason, unfortunately, I'm unable to use it. So I'm starting this video out with a new sketchbook, and there's no music, there's no audio editing. You hear the ambience in the background and all that jazz. I gotta one take this because I can't stop and start and edit out any errors and bloopers and all that stuff. So, as you see, this is a very, very rough sketch of a Chun-Li and Cammy duo picture. And I'm going to try to give some tips about how to draw and all your anatomy is on point, I guess, and in perspective. And to do so, you have to understand anatomy, and to execute more accurately, you have to use basically shapes. Your basic shapes would include circles, squares, rectangles, or so, and then you slowly add on detail. So here's one example, and if you look really closely at Cammy's boot right here, that's a circle, and it's followed by lines, and then I just detailed. Everything starts out basic. So when you have your lines and your circles, like this point here, it's a circle, and it's a stick drawn here, and everything. And with the arms, it's circle, line, circle, and with the drawing like this, it's very hard to see at this point, but more so here. Like I've just drawn like some circles and tubes and stuff, and I try to do it in a three-dimensional perspective. But that's basically like circle, tube, circle, big circle, and I just detailed the fingers and made a fist and her bracelets and everything else. Um, Even when you do headshots, um, most of the time you'll start out with either circles, rectangles, and lines for your indicators of certain points. If you look very, very, very closely here, um, as soon as my camera go back in focus, so you look closely here, you'll see a line going here, and you'll see a line going down there. That's basically your indicators of centering your head when you go to draw your eyes and your ears and the shape of the face. Uh, Hopefully, when I can focus a little bit better. Okay, there you go. So you can't really not so much see it on that, but okay, we'll go to the next picture. We'll get into shading and everything later on, but this is not a good example of, obviously, it's another picture of Wolverine, and I'm just going to move forward from that. Okay, here we go. So, this is the character Persephone from Marvel Comics. She is currently the latest villain in the Wolverine story arcs, and it's just her in a chair sitting down, and she has a crazy white gown on and everything. But as you can see here, this is like her pelvic and waist area, and it's just a line, and the circles here are like where her knees would be, and this circle here is where her ankle would be, and the triangle there would be her foot, and that would be her foot. And then I just improvised how her gown would flow downward, and that's where her elbow would be, and that's where her shoulder would be, and that's another elbow, and her hand here. These circles here obviously are her shoulder points, and then I just drew circle, and then I just mapped around her jaw. More examples. This is like the torso area will be like a rectangle, and then when you start to learn more about the skeletal system and the anatomy, you draw like the rib cage or so, and then you want to keep it as basic as possible, and you always want to draw in pencil if you're not comfortable with your final lines. You always don't have final lines when you're sketching, okay? So you have more circle points for all the joints, or if you had an action figure, you like your articulation points, the knees, the ankles, and you just map and improvise and sketch from there. Well, check out the detail of his hands, okay? So all the circles here are the points for the knuckles, and then I just make skeletal stick lines, and this part here, it's not a traditional shape, but it's supposed to be like the shape overall, um, improvised, of course, of the palm, or the main part of the hand. So, and of course, you broaden out kind of like oval shapes, and it's not a true rectangle for the forearm. And then you go up and you have the bicep, and I believe this is the tricep. I'm not too good with the muscle grouping, and of course, that's the shoulder muscle. And this is more so where the lines aren't finalized, because you want to make sure that you're matching your mapping and your layout with the vision in your head. So you want to start out with basic shapes to make sure that you have your perspective and your anatomy and everything's like correct and accurate before you start adding the detail. Okay? And this is going to be a Wolverine drawing, and I want to point out, when you see lines here, 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 and here, those are your limit points. Like if you have a comic book board, they have those. I'll tell you what. Dang, I can't put this phone down. But I have comic book board, and they have points where you're supposed to stop your process, like sketching and drawing, and anything beyond those points, when they scan those sheets, they would not pick up, or so. So this is outside the area. Like, you don't want to draw too close. Like, this is a sketchbook, so you don't want to draw too close to this. Or like if you're gonna rip that page out, you don't want like detailed drawing beyond this point going here on the binding. So, especially if you want to get an entire body shot, and you don't want your sketch to run off the page, and you don't fully get the feet, or you missing like a full part of the arm or a full part of the head. You want to make those indicators that make sure you get the entire body there. Okay, so rectangles, circle for to indicate for the ear. Got the circles here, and those would be the claws. So it's the same thing. So, and I have points, your basic shapes, your rectangle for the arms, and for the head, horizontal and vertical rectangle. Then you got the circle points for the joints. So once you get that down, you can get more comfortable with more detailing, and it will help you execute more accurately. Now, another thing I noticed with camera work, which I'm not an expert in, and I'm holding this in my hand, which is why I'm not doing any sketching this first video, is when you angle your camera a certain way, it changes the perspective. So this looks like he has really long legs now and a very, very short torso and upper body. But if I angle it like this, ta-da, it's magic. Now everything looks more proportionate. Okay, so that's my video for today, and this will technically be the part 1 for this basic drawing here, which will obviously be Wolverine in the future. So stay tuned for another video. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, And I will see you in the next video, and we will do some detailing. And, of course, some muscle grouping and so on and all that stuff. And I'm mumbling because it's like 9 in the morning as of this video. But I'll check you guys later. Come on back when I'm ready for the next video. Peace.